Welcome to Dr. K. Vasvi channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about steps in testing hypothesis. எப்பொருள் யார் யார் வாய் கேட்பினும் அப்பொருள் மெய்ப்பொருள் காண்பது அறிவு. எந்த ஒரு பொருள் குறித்தும் எவர் எதை சொன்னாலும் அதை அப்படியே நம்பி ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளாமல் உண்மை எது என்பதை ஆராய்ந்து தெளிவதுதான் அறிவுடைமையாகும். What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is a tentative assumption. We are assuming something. It doesn't have any evidence or we may not know whether it is true or not. So, hypothesis is a preposition we formulated for start our research. So, the hypothesis has to be tested and based on the testing only we have to conclude what is a reality. What is hypothesis testing? It is a statistical hypothesis. Is an assumption about a social phenomena which may or may not be true. We are assuming something. We doesn't know exact what is it. Right? Hypothesis testing is a set of formal procedure used by statistician to either accept or reject statistical hypothesis. Hypothesis is a statement. It has values. Based on that, we have to adapt statistical tools to measure, and that we are going to decide either accept or reject the hypothesis. Statistical hypotheses are two types. One is null hypothesis. For symbol of null hypothesis, HO or H0 represent a hypothesis of chance basis. Second one is alternative hypothesis or research hypothesis. We can represent as HA or H1. It represents a hypothesis of observations which are influenced by some non-random cause. Any research investigations progresses after formulating any research investigations begins from formulation of hypothesis. Am I right? Hypothesis based on observation about social phenomena. So, we are going to have variables. Variables has values and we are going to test it and we are going to confirm whether it is true or not. Based on that only we are going to reject or accept hypothesis. The first step is state the hypothesis. These steps involve stating both null and alternative hypothesis. The hypothesis should be stated in such a way that they are mutually exclusive. If one is true, then other must be false. Cannot accept both null and alternative hypothesis. We cannot accept. Based on the test, we are going to accept null hypothesis or other one. So, we have to state what is null hypothesis, what is alternative hypothesis. For example, there is a significant difference between undergraduate and postgraduate students with regard to their reading habit. So, here we clearly stated both hypotheses. The second step is formulate an analysis plan. The analysis plan is to describe how to use sample data to evaluate the null hypothesis. The evaluation process focuses around a single test statistics. For example, there is no significant difference between undergraduate and postgraduate students with regard to their reading habit. Here we state a null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference between undergraduate and postgraduate students with regard to their reading habit. And third step is analysis sample data. Find the value of the test statistics using properties like mean, score, proportion, t-test, z-score, etc. stated in the analysis plan. While collecting the data itself, we have to have idea what test we are going to have. So, based on the nominal scale, if we used nominal scale for collection of data, we can go for counting, frequency, percentage, proportion, mode or coefficients like that. But if we collected data through nominal scale, we can't go for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. These are not possible under this scale. If we collected information based on ordinal scale, we can go for mean, median, percentage and rank correlation coefficient. These are the tests we are going to perform. If we collected information based on the interval scale, we can go for arithmetic mean, standard deviation, Pearson coefficient. These are the even correlation test we can do. And if we collected data based on the ratio scale, we can go for central tendency test like geometric and harmonic means. So, we have to decide which test we are going to perform to confirm the result. For what purpose we have to decide to do test? To test the relationship between the variables considered in the research hypothesis. Then interpret a result. While testing, as a researcher, we would like to test our hypothesis at 0.05 level of significance. So, based on the p-value, we are going to state whether it has significant or not. So, after that, after deciding the analysis sample data, the researcher has to tabulate his or her information and we have to compute it. And if we want to use MS Excel or SPSS package for testing the data. Interpret a result. Apply the decision stated in the analysis plan. If the value of the test statistics is very unlikely based on the null hypothesis, then reject the null hypothesis. Since the calculated value is more than the critical value, we reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis stated as HO. If suppose we accept the research hypothesis because the null hypothesis has been rejected, infer that there is a significant difference between undergraduate and postgraduate students with regard to their reading habits. So for hypothesis testing, we have to, first of all, we have to state the research hypothesis. Next step is we have to formulate the null hypothesis. Then we have to decide what are the statistical tests we are going to conduct for confirming whether it has right or not. And we have to specify a significant level, that is 0.05 level of significant. Then we have to compute, that is we have to enter, and we have to enter our information in MS Excel or SPSS, and we have to conduct research statistical test based on the significance level. We have to reject or accept our null hypothesis, and we are going to draw the conclusion, that is the inference, whether we are going to accept or reject research hypothesis. So these are the steps that involved in testing the hypothesis. Thank you.